Welcome my friends, Evan Gray here. Thank you for joining me for this video tour today. I'm in Arizona at Jamie's Van Bill party, and today wandering around I discovered Kenny and his amazing rig here, so he's going to give us a tour. I'm going to turn the time over to him and he'll walk us through and give us a tour of this beautiful tiny house on wheels behind us.
All right, so this is a 1976 Dodge. It's a Class C RV with a 400 Chrysler motor in it. It's like 68,000 miles. I found it parked outside the road for real cheap because the whole back was rotted and needed to be tore off. I had built this back part as a trailer, and so I thought, well, I could put the back part on the frame and build a front part to match. And after a little bit of sweat and toil, I got the whole thing to put together, and it is here on the road and doing okay for an old van. Yeah, so when the trailer was put together, the wheel wells fit real nicely over this, but this space was needed to be filled in, and so I actually found these bifolding doors at the Restore that just happened to exactly fit my opening and allow me a place for storage. And I do have a big table that I can take out, and we're using it over there for storage now. And it was just a convenient way to connect the two spaces and have some outside access to some other materials and parts, that I need to. I was going to make an outdoor cooking station or an outdoor drinking station or something along those lines, but for now it's just sort of storage. Okay, so when I was putting together the box, this trailer made out of basically styrofoam, I was looking for parts and pieces that I could use, and mostly at the Restore. Got the windows for 25 bucks and old flooring that I had from a project that's 1/8-inch thick wood, and this wainscoting board came from the Restore. Some old boards, some old farm lumber, actually an old barn board, and parts and pieces from other stuff that I had around the house. So the project was sort of to see what I could build with what I had and use up some of the stuff in the garage, and it turned out that way for the most part. So originally the back part of this was set on a trailer. I had found the French doors at the Restore, and I kind of built a frame and the whole framing of the trailer box out of that size, but it was facing the front, and my hitch was here, so I had to build a folding down deck, or it's a folding up deck and a fold down roof. I thought I would create something aerodynamic. And so the whole concept of the folding deck and putting a bike rack underneath there worked out really well, and I thought it would be great to pull around, but I still didn't like to pull it. So I practically didn't use it for a year till I found the RV and ripped it all down and was able to just set that piece on it for the functional way of using my trailer that I'd spent so much time building, I guess. The same way as the other side was set up is that I found this bifold door, or this is a louvered door at the Restore, and I decided, well, it's the same size and it happened to fit perfectly, and there's a place where I could have ventilation for my propane tanks and my water pump and ventilation for the instant water heater, plus a lot more storage. Actually, I brought a lot of extra stuff to the van build to help with the solar installations, and so couldn't decide how much space I actually had, so I just kept stuffing things in there till it was practically overly full. But it works real well for that purpose, and I was happy with the way that it would still stay closed. I don't know, maybe not, but that's as good as I could get it to fit. Oh, and I got drainage lines down here, so we can think about the idea that I could hook up to city water, and I could have hot water on the other side coming out of that side. I can hook up city water that way, as opposed, and plus I can also use it as an outside faucet. It's sort of like a reverse, I don't know, I think it would work that way. Actually, I think I've used it as that. But, it works. Oh, and this is a gray water tank. I don't have under storage gray water. And I have a 20-gallon tank underneath here. And so that gray water tank can go inside and fit and catch my water. And it works fine for now. I was trying to figure out a way to install something underneath, but it just didn't seem like it wanted to work that way. Okay, let me show you the inside. I actually have made these steps with a hinge so that when this part folds up, the steps themselves will fold under, and then the bikes can sit right on the front. It turned out to be a very fortunate convenience that I hadn't anticipated. Most of the things that I have done here have kind of come out of finding pieces and parts that I had around and was able to use them in happy coincidences that made things fit. For example, this is out of the old trailer that I originally had, and this cabinet happened to just fit the size of a little tiny refrigerator that I could squeeze in on top of the wheel well and inside of that hole. These old bookcases came out of my father's law office, and they even, well, they're glass, they will lock down for travel, and hold a fair amount of stuff, plus they even let the light through. So, well, yes, and like the parts on the outside, the sink was from the Restore, the faucet was from the Restore, the shower base was from the Restore, the door was from the Restore, this cabinet may have been from the Restore, and this little piece came out of a desk that we had, and it just happened, in one of those happenstance, fits perfectly, can hold my induction cooktop. So this is a plate rack that I had found in the attic, but with these holders on here, it works perfect as a little spice rack. And God, it's like there's too many things like that that just seem to fit in their places without me having to do anything much about it. Now, so the bench was actually a cedar chest that my great-grandfather had made for my grandmother, but he made a very huge bench, well, what's made my bench is a huge cedar chest and lots of storage inside. And actually I have my electrical controls and my lithium batteries that fit real neatly between the wheel wells and the base of that. An old piece of, whatever this thing is, decorative thing that probably doesn't need to be there, but it looks good. And just pieces and parts that I found around, even like the old chair that I was using for my step up into my bed. Now it's just sort of an extra piece of furniture. I think I found a good way to have a shower and a bathroom and a closet combined into one. This actually shower curtain works as a shower curtain, but it can also be swung around and have a separation as a dressing area or when you get out of the shower. When it's out, then you also have the closet that slides out from the shower, so I've got a completely open shower. And I realize I brought way more clothes than I need, but in fact, and I had room for them, I guess. And also when I shower, then I'm able to slide the towels out on this towel rack. And so when the shower curtain is over here, then it actually holds it in and your towels are conveniently within reach. And so it was sort of another one of those things where things just fit together, and I was more than happy with the idea. And I stole this idea from somebody, so but I made it work, and that's what counts, I guess. So this is an example of what the walls actually look like from this fiberglass reinforced plastic being glued to the outside. Now this is 1.5 inch styrofoam. The walls themselves are 2-inch styrofoam, and then there is just the wood that you see on the outside glued to the outside of this. This is the piece I cut out that fits into my fan connection there, and so it actually acts as a piece of insulation for the fan as well. And so it also, well, when it stays in, it keeps the sunlight out in the morning. And so that between that and, of course, I got a piece of Reflexit for the front glass. And I've got, I'm using the t-shirts are the hanging part. I'll show you. Well, like for example, you take your favorite old t-shirt and use it as a curtain and you can potentially still wear them, I guess, but those have been committed to that process. All right, so the best method I've had to have a good place to sleep is the cab over part. This will drop off of the bed, and this is the best step method. I have put a rack on top of my little heater where I can step up on there and step up on there and easily get into bed. And it's kind of tall, but I could be a little taller. But I'm more than happy here because it's probably, I think it's 7 feet long this way. And if I add some more cushions out that way, it's still 6 foot this way. So I'm thinking about expanding the bed out, or I've got a way to do that, but I'm not sure I'm going to actually get it done on a regular basis because it takes up a lot of excess space. And it's a nice, comfortable space for getting up in the morning. I like laying up here. I probably spend more time up here than down there because it's the most comfortable place to be. And I've got the cushions that I can lay back on and relax and read and whatever else comes along. So when I was putting together the van, I had wanted to come up with a name. I'd seen some real interesting ones, and I had found that the Dodge letters, if you take the D's out and reverse the other three, you get ego. And so as I thought about the term ego and what it really means is, it means your ego is a part of your personality, a part of your identity. And this vehicle has now become a part of my personality and a part of my identity. And I feel like I have an ego that is plenty big already, but you know, I'm going to try to work on that as time goes by.
Kenny, thank you so much for the tour of your awesome ego rig here. This is absolutely fabulous. I actually saw this for the first time last year at the RTR event that I attended and wanted to do the video there, but I didn't have this new channel. So this is something I've been after and wanting to do for almost a year now. So thank you so much for meeting with me to do this today.
No, thank you so much for coming over and doing it. I feel my ego is gratified.
Thank you so much for watching. Savor the moment, and I'll see you in another tour video.